Hey, I'm back. This is Chandler from Melda Production. Recently, somebody asked how you could stop reverb from colliding with the next note. This is a little bit of a difficult problem. I'm sure you might have, come across this yourself. What happens is you have a chord or a note, and as it gets to the end of the bar, the next chord comes or the next note comes, and the reverb from the previous bar is still sustaining, and it runs in and clashes with that next chord or note. I'm going to show you a way you can stop or at least reduce that. So let's get started. I'm going to use MTurboreverb MB. It's very important to use the MB version. But first, before I do that, let me bypass this and I'll let you hear what we have. I'm just using a synthesizer sound because I think this will be easy to hear the clash. Just that. Now let's bypass this. I have this hanger, a device inside MTurboreverb MB. We're going to use that. It's a very long reverb, so you can hear the clashing. Listen as it changes notes. You can hear that's a mess. And I have it at 100%, but no, that's not really the problem. What I'm going to do here is let's take this, copy it, and I'm going to paste it over here, and we're going to compare the before and after. I have MTurboreverb MB1 here, and I have this hanger. We're going to leave this pretty much where it is, and what I'm going to do is right-click and add another band, insert. Okay, now I have two bands. I'm going to take this first band, copy it here, move it over here, and paste it. I'm going to right-click again, and right now we have the analog, and this is going to split it by frequency, but we actually don't want that. We want to split it by level. I'll just move this up here. We'll leave everything as it is right now, but what this does is this level knob or slider will control which of these two will get the input. So if I have it all the way at silence, band 1 is going to get all the input. If I have it all the way over at 0 dB, it will be at all in band 2. And of course, you can blend between them. What I'm going to do here is when I want it to play or input, I'm going to have it here at band 1, and then when the next chord comes, I'm going to move it over to band 2. So this will stop all the input from band 1, and that's part of it, but I still want to turn the volume down, so I'll show you how you can do that also. Okay, so next part here is we're going to have to add a multi-parameter to put this in here. So we're going to go here. We can actually go in here, click it. We'll call this blend. It's good to label it, which you'll see later. Now, the first thing I want to do is take that level and automate it. So I'll just click Learn here, right-click on this again, and right here where it says level, just move this. Click on the multi-parameter again, and we should see it in here like this. Now, whenever we move this back and forth, it will switch between these two reverbs, although they are the same. You could use different reverbs, and sometimes that's good, but in this case, I don't want to do that because I want to keep the sound the same. If you don't want to do that, of course, try different reverbs. That's also interesting. It might be an interesting thing to do. Maybe I'll do a video on that, doing different reverbs for different chords and things. Anyway, let's go on to the next part. Now, the next thing we want to do is actually reduce the volume. So we're going to go in here. I'm going to click in the edit screen. Unfortunately, the gain doesn't go down low enough. It goes down -12, which actually might be enough, but I don't think it is. So put that back at 0. Click the edit screen here. And from here, you can see the volume just right here. I'm going to click Learn, move it all the way down and all the way up here. Now I can go back, and you should see in here the volume. And if I go back here, you can see as I move this down, the volume goes up. What we don't want, though, is when I want it on band 1 all the way down, everything's coming through here, it's silent. I don't want that. So what I'm going to do is just invert this. Now, when I move it, you see when it's all the way to the left, all the input's going to go through band 1, and the volume's going to be at 0. But as I move it over, it's going to be reduced in volume. The next thing I'm going to do is just do the exact same thing on the other side. Go into the edit screen, Click Learn, move this up and down, click here, look inside, make sure we have it in there, and then should see it here all the way to the right. It's a 0, and I move it down, it goes to silence. Now this should let us blend between them. Let me just put the default here at 0. Make this a little bit smaller. It's getting a bit big. And as it changes, I'm just going to move this back and forth. Now, it did stop the blending problem, so it's like, I'm not hearing that, start the dissonant sound. The problem is, though, you're hearing like a volume drop, which we don't really want. There's a few ways we can get rid of that. So one, I can reduce this amount. So instead of going to silence, I can reduce it to, let's say, -20 and -20. So that way, it's not going all the way to 0, but it should reduce it enough so you can't hear it. So let's hear it again. That's pretty good. If you want it smoother, instead of just moving it to 20, what we're going to do is, let's see, I have this all the way, it should be 1. We're going to go to the transformation shape here, and we'll change this. So right now, actually, unfortunately, there's so much stuff on here I can't see. We're going to go to the edit screen here, and in the transformation shape, we'll move it. So here, it should be at -20 for band 2. Let's see here. I'm on band 1. That's why this sometimes gets confusing. Make sure you're on the right band. So here we are. If I put it in the middle, around like 50, right now it's at -7. Let's move this up to about 50 here. So that way, when it's in the middle positions, there'll be a bit more volume. And we'll do the same thing here. Let's look at band 2. In the middle position, I think this one we'll have to move down. Or is it up? Maybe they're both up, actually. About 50. Now let's listen to that. Hopefully this should be a bit smoother. Let's go back here. So that seems to have taken care of it. Of course, there's more things you can do. You can try to adjust the values to get it a little bit more smooth, if you like, which I think is good. But I'm kind of doing this on so you can hear it, but you probably wouldn't actually want to do that. I would probably take this out instead of having it at 100%, maybe around like 60 or so. And then I can go in here, try not to make it too big, and move this back and forth. So there, I can hear the tail, but it's not clashing with the previous note. And that's what I want. Start it at 0. You're probably thinking, like, I don't want to move my mouse every single time I want to blend this. That's annoying. What we can do here is, because we have it labeled, it should be fairly easy to find this as a automation track and automate this. So we can go in here. Let's see, in MTurboreverb, we have blend. Just click on this, or however you do it in your DAW. We're going to take this, let's highlight this section. Sometimes forget, yeah. Ooh, sometimes forget what I need to push. Yeah, this segment here. So I'll have it start with 2 and then go to 1. And I can go here. And now this will move it automatically. If you don't want something quite so dramatic, what we can do is you can start to move these over like that. Although I think my resolution is too... No, actually, that's okay. Yeah. And then do the same thing here. I'll add a point. Add another point here. And now this will blend slightly better, like this. And that seems better to me. Let me compare that to what we had before with just one band. So that's without any of the tricks, and this is with the tricks. Actually, I kind of want to get that a little bit smoother. I might adjust these a bit more. Let's see. -15. This is -15. See if this helps a little bit. And also, I might want to do faster blending. So I'll just move this over like this and like this. And there you go. That's it. So I think that's perhaps easy enough. Also, if you're wondering like, this takes a while, I don't want to do this every time, it's a bit annoying. I can understand that. Once you do this one time and you have this blend here, you can, of course, change different things here. So if I went from, let's say, hanger to square like this, make sure I do the same thing on the other one, square, and everything will be set up the same way, like this. So you can change to that reverb is going on way too long. Anyway, you can go and you can change to a different device if you want, and everything will still work. So once you do this once, maybe make a preset, you can just use that every single time if you have this problem. So hopefully that makes it easy for you. And if you have any questions about this, please leave them below, but that's it. If you enjoyed this, give me a thumbs up and make sure you check out all the other products at meldaproduction.com. Till next time, see you.